Hello guys, I hope you are fine. So today in this video I am going to tell you about the Great Pyramids of Egypt. About 4500 years ago, one of the seven wonders of the world was built, which still continues to amaze the people, and among all of them, the Great Pyramid of Giza is the tallest. The Great Pyramid of Giza, with the height of 146.6 meters, remained the tallest structure in the world for more than 3800 years. Heavy stones were used to build the Great Pyramid of Giza, which in combines total 6.5 million tons. You can have an idea about that by comparing it with the present day tallest structure, the Burj Khalifa, which only weighs around 500,000 tons. The question which make people dumbstruck is that how it was built. Back then, people do not had advanced technology or heavy machinery. But still, they have managed to build such a tall structure which still stands. How was that possible? Now let's try to figure it out.
Decoding the Great Pyramid right now.
It is estimated that the Great Pyramid of Giza was built by the pharaoh Khufu in the year 2550 BC. The monarchs of the ancient Egypt are known as pharaohs. He was the second monarch of the fourth dynasty of the Old Kingdom of Egypt. The pyramids are located on the west bank of the river Nile, and the second largest pyramid of Egypt is known as the Pyramid of Khafre. Khafre was the son of Khufu, and the third and the smallest pyramid was of Menkaure, who was the son of Khafre. In addition of this, there is also the Great Sphinx and several small pyramids. There are said to be a total of 118 pyramids of varying shapes and sizes. Now the question arises that why these pyramids were built, and the answer is that they were built as a tomb. The pharaohs are buried inside these pyramids. Guys, the pharaohs believed in life after death. They believed that after death, the soul of the person travels to the underworld, where it will be judged by the God, and those who lived the life of goodness will remain immortal in the life after death. So, to prepare for the afterlife, the pharaohs would commission tombs for themselves while they reigned. A large amount of food, treasures, jewelry, furniture, and clothes were to be buried with the pharaohs as well. After the death, their bodies were mummified and stored in the wooden or stone coffins. And today it is absolutely clear with all the historians in agreement that the Great Pyramid of Giza was built as a tomb. Back then, people used to believe that the grander the tomb, the better the afterlife will be. And now here we comes to the biggest question, that how these pyramids were built. And to solve this mystery, we first have to understand how heavy stones were moved from one place to another, as because at that time there were no wheels, no vehicles, and no heavy machinery to move stones from one place to another. But a possible theory is that the rafts were built that floated on the river to move the stones from the quarries. And once the stones were at the pyramids, they were stacked on top of each other using sledges over wet ground. This is an interesting theory recently developed in a study in 2014. The basis of this theory is this picture. This is a later tomb built around 1900 BC. In this painting, you can see 170 people pulling this statue on a sledge. Ropes were used to pull this heavy statue. If you look closely at the painting, you would see that a man is pouring water on the sand in front of the statue. At first, archaeologists thought that maybe it is part of a ritual, perhaps a tradition of pouring water in front of sledge. But later, it was founded by the physicist Daniel Bohr and his team. They found that having a certain amount of water in the sand reduces the friction between the ground and the thing being pulled. This is a specific ratio of about 2 to 5% of water into the sand. It makes it easier to pull the things on wet sand. Once we have understood this, now the other question is that how these heavy stones were lifted and stacked on each other without using heavy machinery. They had built an efficient system of ramps. In 2015, a team of English and French archaeologists uncovered a 4,500-year-old wooden ramp in a quarry. Scholars suggest that a ramp must have been built like this. This was suggested by physicist Joseph West in 2014. According to this theory, after completing a one level of the pyramid, they would have created a new slope. And to ensure that the angle of the slope wasn't steep, they would have built a long slope. By building a long slope, the tilt of the slope could be reduced. In another theory, it is suggested that they had might use levers to stack the stones on each other. Look at how it works in this drawing. Here both theories sound reasonable, but they do not explain exactly that what had happened. But at least we know that the layer at the bottom were placed without mortar, and then mortar was added at the layer on the top. That increased the stability of the structure. This is why after so many years, pyramids of Giza still stands even after so many earthquakes. And now we comes to the final part of construction, the outermost layer of the pyramids. It was made of fine whitish limestone, meaning that by sunlight these pyramids were used to shine white brilliantly, but this shine had lost by the passage of time. The outermost layers have worn off from the pyramids of Khufu and Menkaure, but in the pyramid of Khafre you can see a part of the layer at the top. Now, moving from the construction to the design of the pyramids, it is utterly fascinating that, surprisingly, the pyramids are designed in a way that the directions point almost exactly towards north, east, south, and west with the very minute error. And now, to solve this mystery, we have two theories. The first one states that when the tilt of the earth allows the day and night to be equal, the shadow on the ground is in a straight direction towards east and west. And in the second theory, it is believed that stars were used by ancient Egyptians to align the design of pyramids. In 1989, Robert Bowell, an author, came up with the Orion correlation theory. He claimed that the three pyramids in Giza were aligned similarly to the three stars of the Orion's belt. He believed that the alignment was intentional, and ancient Egyptians knew astronomy. And in last, what if I tell you that even some people think that these pyramids were built by the aliens, as they believe it is not possible for humans to create this. But in my opinion, these theories go against the principle of scientific thinking. This is a shortcut method of coming up with an answer when we do not have sufficient knowledge about any topic. It is better to acknowledge the facts that we know and clearly lay out those what we do not know, so that the next generation of archaeologists, historians can carry out research on these topics and discover the complete solution of these mysteries and give us complete and accurate information and explanation of what happened in past. So thank you so much for watching my video. We'll see you soon in the next one. Till then, goodbye, take care, and remember to subscribe the channel.